welcome to Why, the show where I don't always have an answer to that question. Okay, Super Draco here, and so here we have the Lucky Cat MC-03 Beast Lord. Now, since I believe some of you have probably seen the short, you know this thing, this is his copyright-free mode. So this one's just meant not to ruffle any copyright feathers. So we'll pop these shoulders off. Now, full transparency, and then we're going to pop the feet off. I put some oil on all of the pegs for these attachments. Then we're going to pop his chest plate off and his head. And then we'll bring in the Triceratops. But I oiled all these pegs because everything was extremely tight. Saber-toothed tiger. And we'll bring in the feet. And then we need the Megazord head. However, instead of outright attaching it, we're going to pull T-Rex out. Bring the head in its closed configuration. Peg it on, put this head up. Then we're going to fold it around. There's a peg hole here. And we're going to take this included screw and drive it into the head. Because if you don't, the head will not stay attached at all. Now you're going in the plastic, so you don't want the head to be way too tight. So let's take them apart and we'll talk about them individually. Now, I do want to make one note. This thing came with these little cube things that like Beast Box products do. I tried to build the cube. I worked on that for about 2 hours. I got 1.5 sides done, got incredibly angry and threw it against the wall, and now there's clear plastic shards all over the room. But, so we're going to ignore that they have a cube mode. And this is one of the big problems of this set is some of the stuff holds on way too good. And I may put a cut here until I have it separated. There we go. Never mind. Alright, so we're going to separate them and we'll go into their individual modes. So we'll start with the mammoth, the mastodon. My wife is just suddenly very angry right now. So to transform him, we're going to slide this up, fold the hand around, close this panel up, and then do the same thing on the other side. So, now if I'm pressing, there we go. Slide it up, push it all the way around, fold this closed, push it in. Alright, so then you're going to close the shoulder pad. Well, maybe not. You want to turn them this way and then close the shoulder pad. Oh, this panel was in the way. Close the shoulder pad, fold it in. So, open that up. Turn it so it's like this. Close the shoulder pad, close it up. Right. Now, there's 2 elbow joints here and here. You want to bend it at the lower joint. Fold this panel around, open it up, and it covers some of that silver. So we'll do the same thing. Make sure it's opening on the lower joint. Panel up, cover the silver. And then we bring in the mastodon's head. And so what we're going to do is we're going to open this hip. and this will just peg into the bottom, and now we have the Mastodon. The tusks actually can rotate, and then the trunk has 1, 2, 3 different segments. So this may be one of the most articulated mastodons ever, which is incredible at this size. And then, gimmick-wise, it also includes these. So Lucky Cat also gave it some extra oomph. So yeah, the guns can actually spread, but that's more for Megazord mode. Very cool. Next up, Triceratops. Transformation is exactly how you'd expect. He has the cannons, or the laser cannons on his tail. I don't remember if the middle one was a gun or not, but it's molded on this to look like one. Very cool. And then, now, I got the pre-order edition, even though I did not pre-order it. So it included an extra set of horns on this long chain. And you just got to match them up. I don't know if they're molded individually for each side, but I found that one will work better than the other. So yeah, very cool. Not something I'm going to use very often, but options are good, especially if they're screen accurate. So then we'll bring in the saber-toothed tiger. So saber-toothed tiger might be the most articulated one of the lot, other than the pterodactyl and the T-Rex. And you're sitting there screaming at me going, the pterodactyl, really? But you'll see what I mean. So the hind legs have a knee and an ankle. The front legs have a shoulder, an elbow, and a wrist. And this joint right here is for the cube thing that we're not going to talk about anymore. So, technically, accessory-wise, it has this little gun. And we can peg that into its back. Voltron reference, yay. So that's those three. So, the T-Rex. Now, the T-Rex is a little interesting. Now, I'm looking for it. It came with a little tool to help this out. So, the Smilodon saber-toothed tiger is the only one whose jaws articulated, and that big loss on the T-Rex. So, first thing we'll notice, he doesn't have a tail. So, let's fix that. So, we take these panels, we're going to rotate them up, fold them out, rotate them around, bring in his tail, it'll peg in, do the same thing on the other side, close it around, there's the tail attached. So then, we're going to fold his arms down, then we're going to bring out the legs. Now, when you bring the legs out, there's this panel here. This will peg into that panel right there to cover up the combining pegs. So we'll do the same thing on the other side. Fold the leg out. Push the combining peg into there. Now, this little tool is supposed to make flipping the combining peg around easier. I haven't needed it, and I haven't felt like I was going to break this thing, but it's there, and I appreciate that. So, first up, let's just get it out of the way. Our boy, the T-Rex, is looking thick. And I am not complaining. Especially considering how it helps Megazord's proportions. Now, T-Rex also came with some extra accessories in these. So, with these, these will peg onto the shoulders. Like so. Oh no, I have that very, very wrong. And I'm ripping panels off of him. So we're going to pretend that didn't happen. You guys saw nothing. So this will go on his back on the pegs that the Mastodon pegs onto for combined mode. And now he has some cool shoulder guns, and they can even angle up. It kind of reminds me of Mechagodzilla, Super Mechagodzilla and Kiryu from the Heisei in the Millennium Era as a Godzilla. And now for the pterodactyl. So, first we'll bring in this chest plate for the Megazord, fold out the wings, and then we have the OG pterodactyl, and you can somehow attach the feet to this. Oh yeah, you fold this out and it has a peg hole, and so you can give it the OG feet. But, and I can't tell if this is a reference to the, what is it, the Flame Toys Megazord that's coming soon, or if it's doing a double duty reference to that. But then we got Big Mama here. So then we'll peg the pterodactyl onto it, so it just goes back to being a chest plate. Fold these legs out to the sides, making sure they don't get caught on the silver. And so then we have the super pterodactyl, as I'm calling it. Now the wings are super articulated, they can go back and forth, rotate, and then they split, but that's more for the Megazord combination. Now this can attach to the royalty-free combination mode. But yeah, so we'll just bring in everybody for the group shot, which is going to be way harder now. So yeah, very cool. So let's get to the main event and start combining things. So we'll pull these off T-Rex for now. So we'll do all that since we're going to tank mode. And now here's where this tool actually comes in handy. There's a peg hole here. Pegs on, and it just gives you some leverage to fold that combination peg out. Fold up the leg into the recess. So we'll do the same thing on this side. Fold the leg up into the recess. Now, and then we'll use our little tool to fold it all the way out. And he's good to go. So then the Triceratops, we just fold the tail over. And then we'll just peg him on like so. Oh, I forgot that he can actually move here just for this combination. So then we'll fold up Saber-Tooth Tiger. I wish they would have just called it Smilodon, but I guess at this point in our lives, that's a little late of a thing. Oh wait, that's right, you fold it straight. And obviously I'm still getting the hang of how this thing combines, because it does stuff radically different from the original Megazord. So we'll fold the teeth up, fold the arms down, and put it into Sleepy Kitty posture. Fold the tail over, and then just put them together. And so then the Mastodon. So pop the head off. Now what we're going to do is on him, on the yellow on T-Rex's chest plate, fold up this peg. And then we're going to pull this silver bit out, fold the peg back up, and then this will peg into a square slot on the back of the Mastodon. So then we'll take the guns off. Alright, so we'll straighten the arms back up. Unfurl that. Straighten out the shoulder pads. And you see how tight some of these joints are. Some of the tolerances on this are not quite what I would like. And I am definitely complaining because I paid money for it, so it's my right as the consumer. I'm going to put that on a t-shirt one day. So we slide him in. We got peg holes here and here. You want to make sure that he lines up properly. Because as you see, this panel will go over the T-Rex's shoulders. Something's going on in here because nothing's wanting to line up. Okay. Now I've had this problem several times interacting with this, because there's clips that go on the side that clip onto those red pieces on his shoulders. I've had trouble getting those to line up, but I've never had this much trouble getting the black piece to line up. There we go. So, and we're going to fold everything down. Now the mammoth's feet have these pegs that come up. So these will just peg into pterodactyl's guns. I'm not sure what the right direction is for them. And then what I like to do is just turn them so you don't see those hands sunk in. And then we'll bring in pterodactyl. Well, OG pterodactyl. Now on OG pterodactyl, there's a slot right here. So let me get Mastodon reconnected. And drop a bunch of stuff because why not? This doesn't stay on the best, but if memory serves, this was a problem with basically every incarnation of this thing. So we bring in that connector we took off of Mastodon. It's going to slide in like slides on like this. You want the peg going forward, and then there's a peg hole. This is the hole that the head for the Mastodon attached to. And there we have tank mode. Yay. And so we can do others, we can always attach these other weapons and stuff to it, and it's all fun. So let's go to Megazord mode. So we'll pop Pterodactyl off, pop that connector off Mastodon, and we'll put his connector back so it doesn't get lost. We'll take the guns off, and these will go ahead and we'll peg onto the back of Mastodon's feet. So then we'll collapse the body back down, straighten these legs back down. feet straight, and then saber-tooth tiger's lower feet. So we'll fold up these pegs. So then, just like before, slide the foot that way, fold the panel around, and make sure that it pegs into the foot. Scoot it around. Make sure it's all the way out. Scoot it around. And we have an arm. So, same thing on this side. Make sure it's all the way down. Fold it out. Fold this panel around. Slide it down. All right, close this peg up. So now for the T-Rex's tail. T-Rex's tail is interesting, as in the show it would just curl up along the back, but what we have to do for this is split this, rotate those around to give him his butt covers, and then the tail has a peg, so we'll collapse the tail down, and then the peg will go into that socket in the middle of the back. So then chest plate down. T-Rex head, we'll pull that away, fold it around. Now it's going to go into the body. You want it to go all the way to the back. So angle that up. Close that. And then we bring in OG pterodactyl. Close it up. Pegs, sockets, peg holes, pegs. So it connects at 4 points. And T-Rex's tail just fell off. That's a problem with how tail is stored. So we'll worry about tail later. But you can do the proper Megazord configuration. Fold out the horns. And there we go. Megazord mode initiated. So yeah, this thing's really cool. Articulation for this size is very good. I don't fixate on articulation. If there's something missing, I'll cover it, but or something exceptional. Now, accessories, you have the Mastodon shield, and this is the big fail with this set. He can't hold his shield, at least that I've been able to do properly. Now, this thing didn't come with any instructions, so most of this I figured out on my own, because you have these two panels here and here, and I thought there's a way you could like clip it into or peg it into the bottom of his hand, but that doesn't work. The peg on here is too big to let it slide into his hand. This doesn't clip or hold on to anything, so he can't hold the Mastodon shield, which is a big fail. However, you can at least peg it onto his arm to give him a buckler, and that'll serve most of your purposes. And then the other accessory, the sword. Move him back. This sword is chest height on him. Holds it with no problem. And then you also get a couple of these splayed open hands, which are very nice for display. But yeah, so very cool. And then again, I got the pre-order bonus set, so it also came with this condom that goes over the sword. So now he's about to charge up and ruin somebody's day. And we'll just get a distant shot. Yeah, he's really cool. So, but we're not done. So we'll take the accessories off of him for a minute and put him off to the side. So we come over to Big Mama Pterodactyl, And you notice the first two segments of the neck have a seam. So you open those up and the head pops off. So then you bring the hips down, and then in between the feet are these peg holes that are the perfect size. So we'll fold the feet up, put this in one peg hole, sandwich it, and then we'll take this, put it on here, and now it has a big long tail. So then the wings, if you separate them, you have this piece that folds out, and then you have this piece that folds out. And we'll do the same thing on both sides. And so, Big Mama, as we can see on the back of the Mastodon, we have two pegs that line up with the two inner holes. And then we have this going on. And then you can take this gun, fold it up. We'll do it to both of them. And then there's additional joints that'll let you bring them up like this around the head. Which, I know this is specifically a reference to the Flame Toys one that's going to cost an extraordinary amount of money that I'm never going to buy. But, isn't this a reference to the 2017 reboot movies Megazord? Because I remember it had wings. So we'll give it the big sword. We'll give the sword its decorative condom. Pop the hand off. We'll give him a splayed hand. And then, well, we'll go ahead and we'll put the Mastodon shield on. Yeah. So this thing's really cool. The non-copyright infringing parts, you can use this chest plate, you can use the shoulders, you'd swap the head if you pop the screw out. All this schmutz you can attach at various places that use the same size peg holes. Oh, I forgot to show this. These spread open. Woohoo! Yay! So yeah, it's very cool. Now I got this heavily discounted because I had a bunch of Show Z points. It's the only reason I bought it, because I paid way below retail for it. So this could be utter crap, and I'd say it was worth it just because I didn't pay full price for it. Out of the box, parts are very tight. Again, I used some of my oil that I used for Ecto-1 to lube up some of those pegs so that I wouldn't be afraid of breaking it. Again, here's the parts for that cube that I could not get assembled. That, it's cool. Buy it if you love the Megazord, or Power Rangers, or you just want a really cool Gestalt robot made out of dinosaurs. I don't know how I feel about this. It's cool, but I don't think I needed that. Thanks for watching. See you for the next video.